everybody. I wanted to record a quick video. Let me stand right here so I can see if anybody comes in. But yeah, I just wanted to record something real quick to keep you guys updated. As you see, I have opened up my store, so it is going on about a month in business, and I'm blessed. Y'all, I'm blessed. I have seen so many posts. Let me turn the music off just to make sure you guys can hear me good. But no, so I've seen so many posts of like, and gurus and people on YouTube, and no shade to them, but people just like talking bad about like, oh, retail is dead, you know, it's not a good time to open a store, the economy, blah, 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 all these different reasons, right? And I just wanted to come on here and tell you guys that if you have a vision and if you have a dream, you have something that you are set on and you know it's meant for you, don't let anything stop you from doing it, period, okay? There's so many people that told me that opening a store was going to be a bad idea, that it was going to take from my online, that it was going to cost me more money than it would be worth, all these negative things, right? And I have been constantly persistent in trying to get my store. If you've been watching me for a while, you know, like this has always been a big goal of mine, was to open my store. When I say that this was one of the smartest business moves that I could have possibly made, period, okay? I was just on the news. I'm gonna post my news story on here too, so you guys could see it. I was on the news. We've been blowing up, and I think it's not so much the fact that I have a store. Let me clarify that, because everybody's business is different and everything is going to be situational based on your circumstances, right? It is not a smart business move for everybody to have a store. That's for damn sure. If you have a business where people would prefer to just buy your stuff online, like if you just sell clothes and stuff like that, then, and say like your area is not a very popular shopping area, or you're trying to open a store in an area that's not very, you know what I'm saying, very good foot traffic, or it has to make sense. Moral of the story, it has to make sense. So if you're going to open a store, you have to consider, why am I opening a store? Am I just trying to open a store because I want to be a big boss and say I have a store and stuff like that? Is it just for looks, or does it make sense? So 100%, it has to make logical sense and financial sense for you to open a store, for it to be a good idea to open a damn store, right? So of course, all of us will probably say like, oh yeah, having a store would be really cool because, you know, it's legit. It looks really cool, right? But the last thing you want to do is put yourself under before you even get started, right? We were popping and blowing up really, really, really good online before I opened my store. So if I would have opened, like, for example, all those videos that I posted before when I was trying to open a store were in like plazas, outlets, stuff like that. I even tried to open up like in a single building. Honest to God, when I say that God protected me from all mistakes that I would have made, he really has his hand on me. Like, if I would have did that, this situation wouldn't be what it is today, right? It wouldn't be the same. I'm not saying that I would have failed, but I'm saying it would have been extremely hard. I had this mindset of like, oh, well, if I'm in a plaza or if I'm in my own building, I can control my hours. I can be open when I want. I can be closed when I want, right? And I already knew that I really wanted to be in a mall eventually, but I was really scared to go for it because it just seemed like such a big deal, right? To be in a damn mall, you know, have to have employees, all this stuff, right, that I just have never done before, all this stuff that I didn't feel like I was ready for, right? So fortunately, you know, my husband, me and him were talking, and he was like, why don't you just go for the mall? Like, because every single time I was trying to do the plaza thing or anything else, it just wasn't working out. Like, they wanted a crazy ass amount, security deposit, just crazy different stuff. You know, there was always so many cons. It was always so difficult to do. And one thing about God and your destiny, if it's meant to happen, it's not going to be extremely hard and it's not going to be impossible to happen, right? It might be difficult, but God is going to make a way for it to work out, right? So it was very clear that having that wasn't going to work out for me. And I think that God really wants me to succeed, you know? So moral of the story, I ended up in a mall, the mall that I wanted to be in. And it's went wonderful. And there's so many perks of being in a mall. So if you are thinking about getting a brick and mortar, I would highly suggest looking into going into a mall, even if it's difficult, even if it's intimidating. Go into a mall that makes sense. Don't go into a mall that's overly saturated with businesses that are like your business. Don't go into a mall that will allow other businesses like yours to come in. So for example, what I sell is unique, and my mall does not allow like competition. So they're not going to let somebody else come into the mall that sells what I sell, right? So there's no competition. So anybody that comes in here wanting shapewear, wanting waist trainers, they're here, period, you know? And that's a huge advantage for me. I don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Like worry about competition or, oh, girl down the hallway, she sells the same thing I sell. Another thing you have to consider, so I live in Michigan, and my thought process with a plaza was like, dude, if I'm in a plaza in the wintertime, ain't nobody gonna be trying to come out to my store and walk in the damn cold just to be here. I mean, they might, but the majority of people, when they go shopping for the holidays, where do they go? They go to the mall, right? They do stuff online, of course, but we're still online, so, you know, but they go to the mall. Another thing is, with the products that I sell, a lot of people strongly prefer to try this stuff on in person if they can. So an advantage for my local audience is they can just come up here, you know. And I also have tried to center like incentives for people to actually come out to the store. So like first dibs, you know, like something that won't drop on the website until the day after, but if they come in store, they can get it that day. Stuff like that to bring people out. And it has really opened so many doors to having a physical store just looks so much more legit. There's millions and billions of stores online, and there's only so much connection and like relationships you can build online. Now that I have customers in store, like I literally have like so many friends. I've made so many friends. I've made so many connections. Hello, hi. But I've gotten so many opportunities too, like being on the news, you know, that the reason why I got the opportunity is because we're in the mall. Like, and another thing for me, my audience is a little bit more mature. The older crowd, they don't really like to do online shopping. They really don't. They like to see stuff in person, feel stuff in person, and an advantage too when you're selling good quality stuff. When people see your stuff in person and it's the bomb and they can try it on and see how amazing it is, they're sold, right? Another advantage of having a store for me has been when people buy online, most of the time when people buy online, they buy in a smaller quantity of items, right? They may buy the one $20 thing or the one $30 thing that they've seen you promote a million times. But when they come in store and they can actually touch and feel and try a bunch of stuff on, girl, when I say for example, my average order value online is like $69, but my average order value in store is over $100. Okay. So people usually spend at least like 3 to 4 times as much in store than they do online. So I make my money a lot faster in store than I do online. I mean, they both make money, right? But like, for example, if I had like 10 online orders and 10 in-store orders, I'll probably make triple of what I did in store than I did online, if that makes sense. So, I mean, there's just so many, like I can go on and on. Like another thing, the old inventory that I bought that never sold, like all this stuff behind me, it sells in store because people are walking by and they come in and they're attracted to it, so they end up buying it. Now, if it was online per se, for example, that type of stuff sat on my website for years. You know, nobody's looking at it because I'm not promoting it. I have so much stuff already on the store. So the thing is, when people are walking by or just curious and they come in, I can show it to them like, hey, you know, look at this, blah, 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 blah. And I can sell old inventory so quickly, you know? But yeah, like there's just so many perks to it. I'm really glad. For me personally, it was a really smart decision. So I just wanted to let you guys know, if this is a goal for you and you think it makes sense, in all aspects, and most importantly, financially, it has to make financial sense. If it's going to be more of a burden, if you're already planning on paying for your store with another income, you're not ready for it yet. Period. You're not ready for it. If your plan is, oh, I'm going to work and just pay my rent from my job, you're not ready for it yet. You need to wait. You need to build up yourself. You need to have a plan for how am I going to make this store survive on its own. So I don't ever want my physical store to have to depend on my online. I want my online to flourish and I want my store to flourish. They've almost kind of became like 2 separate businesses almost in my mind, even though they're not, you know. But I want them to operate and elevate and flourish individually. I don't want one pulling from the other. Now, God forbid, if I have a rough month or something like that happens and I have that, thank God. But me opening the store was to add to my stream of income, not take away. You know what I'm saying? It's not supposed to be a burden. It's supposed to elevate. It's supposed to double, triple, quadruple, whatever. So yeah, you know, I don't know. There's so much good to it, y'all. And it does look a lot more legit. Like we get so much more respect, so much more credibility, like having a store, of course, you know, like, oh, we're in Fairlane Mall, you know, we're not just another boutique. Honestly, I dropped boutique totally out of our name. I was like, no, we give a big business energy only. Ain't no boutique, you know. It's just Bossy Glam now. And when I say we're thriving, like we're doing good, y'all. We're doing really good. We're doing really good. Like my brand has went from several days with no sales to making like 3 to 8,000 in a fucking day. In a day. You know how much money that is, y'all? That's insane. Like, that's crazy. That's so crazy, y'all. And I'm grateful, and I earned it. I really did, because I have put so much work into this for 3.5 years now. I've never given up on my business. There was never a day where I wasn't talking about my business or doing something for my business, ever since I opened. Never a day. You know, a lot of people think that they're going to go into this and drop ship or do all this the lazy way to try to get the success, and it's not going to work. Honestly, you really got to bust your ass for this, period. That's the only way it's going to work. If you want the results, you have to put in the work, you know. That's another reason why I kind of took a break from the mentoring, because I just noticed a lot of people are really not about it. You know, they're not serious. A lot of people nowadays, they don't want to work, not even for themselves. And if you can't even work for yourself, I can't help you. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you how to drop ship or all this little shortcut shit that people see on YouTube and think it's gonna make them $1 million. I'm not. Listen, honey, all this was from tooth and nail and just straight up genuine hard work, you know, persistence. Because last year when I was pregnant, my business slowed down a lot because I didn't have the time to do everything I was doing. And shit, I still shapewear. Like, how are you gonna model shapewear when you're pregnant, you know? So it was really difficult. And last year, I barely made anything last year for a couple months, for a short period of time. I was like in a dry season, straight up. But the way your business can literally transform overnight is crazy. Like, how much I made in all of last year, I made that in a month last month. So think about that. Like, that's insane. Like, making 50, 60, 70,000 a month is a lot of money, you know, and it comes with a lot of work. But I'm blessed, y'all. You know, I want to spit out more videos consistently. I'm going to start recording every time I'm here. I have 3 employees now that help me, you know, during the weekend stuff, where I can come in here when I need to. And I'm just more focused on like the marketing, the online, and just like my social media presence, advertising, stuff like that, where my employees just handle the sales. You know what I'm saying? They do the register, they do the sales. So now I have a lot more freedom. I'm not painting walls and drilling in shelves and all that stuff and waxing floors and all that. So I have a lot more time to be on here and giving you guys the tea. So let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see, and I will see you guys soon.